Are you thinking about buying a 3D printer? Are you wondering if it's worth it or not? Are you wondering if it's too much of a hassle or too much of a problem? Hopefully in this video, I'll answer some of those questions for you, because today we are gonna talk about, is buying a 3D printer actually worth it? So is it worth it or is it not, you guys? That's the big question, right? I got a printer for Father's Day. That's a few months ago as of making this video. But I got one for Father's Day and I have been using it like crazy, and it has not shut off very much since I've got it. Now, 3D printers can be pricey, and it all just depends on what you want to do with it and how much you want to use it, if it's going to be worth it for you. I thought I would really like to dabble in the 3D printing game because I like putting scale accessories on my crawlers. And sometimes those scale accessories can get pricey, especially if you want to do a bunch of them, you know what I mean? So that was kind of one of my reasons of wanting a 3D printer, is so that way I can print all sorts of cool stuff for my rigs for a fraction of the cost. And in all honesty, you guys, that's really what it is. Once you get the printer itself and the filaments and get it set up and get it running, you really will print accessories for your rig for a fraction of the cost, if any cost. A lot of, well, everything pretty much you see for my rigs that's been 3D printed thus far has all been completely free. I have not paid for one STL that you see right now. And I say it like that because I did pay for one STL, and that's the STL for the interior for the Gen 8. You guys, I was trying to whip one together myself, learning Tinkercad, learning the printing and learning how to design and everything, and it was just a lot. So I opted out of building one myself and figuring it all out myself, and I went ahead and bought an STL for the interior, which was like $8, you guys. So think about that. Go ahead, I'll give you a minute, look it up, Google it, whatever you use, check it out. Red Cat Gen 8 Scout 2 interior. Go ahead and look that up. All right, you got that? You see that? $50, around $50 you're gonna find these interiors for the Red Cat Gen 8 put together. Some are painted, some are not. The STLs, you can go ahead and look for that too, but I'll save you some time on that one. They can be just as pricey, but I did find an STL that was $8 for all of the parts, 2 different dashboards, 2 different steering wheels, both seats, center console, back seats, the mounts to put them all in, everything for $8. All I have to do is print it and paint it. Now to me, that is huge. If I can print it, paint it for $8 or for free, and instead of paying $50, $60 for a part, I think that's amazing. I think that's so worth the 3D printer, right? Now I know some people are gonna be like, yeah, but the quality you're getting out of your 3D printer rather than a actual plastic piece or metal piece or something like that from said manufacturer who molds them and makes them on the you know, millions. It's just not going to be the same quality, and it's just not going to hold up the same. I would say that just depends on you personally. I think the quality that I'm getting out of my prints is pretty sweet, especially for free. I think the quality I'm getting out of my prints is dope, especially for when I'm going to flip these things and possibly break stuff. And then when I break something, I can just go ahead and print it again. I got the STL already. All I have to do is put it back on the printer and get it printing. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll have a new piece free of charge again, because I won't have to go rebuy it. So it really all just depends, you guys. I think it's so worth it in my opinion. As you can see here, I have printed skid plates, front grills, windshield wipers, roof racks, door handles, sandboards, the basket rack you see here. I can flip it around to this side and you'll see the bumper jack, the ladder, the gas cap, you guys, the handle, the button. I mean, there's a lot that I've printed for this rig already. And also with the Bronco too, you guys. Let's not forget the Bronco. I have printed a lot of stuff. As you see, I did the roof racks, the basket rack, the sandboards, the bumper jack. If you can see on this one, I did exhaust. I painted those. I did the exhaust there. Also in here, I have the receiver box, deep dish receiver box. So I have all my lights and everything in there nice and comfortably. It's really tight. I have a power button where I can turn it on right here. I don't think you can hear that click, but it's clicking. I can turn it off, on and off right here, a little power button from underneath. I also printed these lift kits. They're called. It's called a lift kit. It's essentially just raising your shock placement. So, but it does give you a little bit of lift, and it does give me more clearance, and it did eliminate my tire rub that it had going on here. Oh, let's not forget to mention the rims themselves, you guys. I have 2 different styles of rims that I've printed already, and I have both of my tires in action now. I have a beefier one like these that came off the Gen 8, and then I have these all-terrain ones. I can use them both. I can swap them both because I printed my own rims. So I'm sure you guys are picking up what I'm laying down here. If you plan on making tons of accessories for your rigs, then it's absolutely worth it. Is there a little bit of trial and error? Yes. Is there a learning curve? Yes. Do you have to learn some softwares? Yes, but it's really not that hard. Once you get it dialed in, you guys, it's smooth sailing pretty much from there. I have had a couple failed prints. I've had a few problems with my printer leveling and things like that. But it's just like everything, even your RC cars, your whatever hobby you're into, you guys. The 3D printer is going to be another learning experience, learning curve, and you're going to have to tinker with it and adjust and, you know, do things. Overall, it really just depends on what you want to do with printing, you guys. Do you want to go through with the work? Because after you print it, and mind you, some of these prints will take hours, if not days. I have a complete K5 body build I'm doing for this, okay? And some of the pieces took 2 days, okay? A solid 2 days nonstop running just to print one piece, all right? So some of it takes some time. Then after you print it, if you would like, you're gonna have to put some kind of filler in so you can't see the layering, or sand it down, make it really nice and smooth, or just don't even bother with it. It all depends on how you want your final product to look. And then you're gonna have to go through and paint it, unless you have a printer that can switch filaments and colors during the print, which is more pricey. Then you're gonna have to paint your final product as well. So you're gonna have a lot of time into it, and you're gonna have to paint it, and then you're gonna have to hope that you built it strong enough so it don't break. You know what I mean? Because you can change the settings on the infills and filling it 100% with plastic, or, you know, 20%, 40%, whatever. You can make your strengths a little stronger. Prime example is my exhausts. I did have different exhausts on there. It was just purely black, but I did break one of them. So I had to reprint them, and then when I reprinted them, I thought, hey, why not paint them silver or chrome looking, so that way it looks like some cool exhaust poking out of there. So, you know, it took me 20 minutes, half hour to reprint those, 10 minutes to paint them, you guys. So it just depends on what you want to do, really. Now, with all that being said, I'm glad I got the printer. I think it is completely worth it to get the 3D printer if you want to print stuff. If you don't feel like the hassle, you don't have room to put it, which I don't have a lot of room. I'm in an RV, you guys, and I still managed to make it happen. But if you don't have a lot of room, you don't want to put the time into it, and you'd much rather just scroll online, pick something out, buy it, have it shipped, slap it on, that is A-okay. Some parts I'm going to have to do that with, just because I won't want the plasticky look, or I'll want a stronger material for the part itself. But if you think you would like to print things, paint things, sand things, and tinker with stuff, if you like doing that like I do, you guys, a 3D printer will really be a game changer. It'll be fun. And don't let it look too intimidating. They do look intimidating. I was a little intimidated at first by the 3D printing process because the printer looked a little, you know, foreign, high tech, whatever you want to call it. The slicing process that you have to learn looked a little too much for me. Just the whole process looked like a lot to learn software wise and stuff like that. But once I started to dive into it, I realized it really, really wasn't, and it's fairly simple. You guys, really don't let it intimidate you. If you are hesitant and waiting and thinking about pulling the trigger on a 3D printer, I'm just going to suggest and say, do it, man. Just do it. Get that 3D printer and start printing stuff. You can print anything from RC stuff, toy stuff, useful things for around the house, which I've printed some things for around the house. And then you can also print just fun, crazy, silly things like this pumpkin that opens and says Happy Halloween. Hopefully you get the point I'm trying to make, you guys. You can do anything with a 3D printer, from real serious and useful things to just silly things. So again, I say if you want that 3D printer, you guys, I say go get it. Pull the trigger, go get that thing. You won't regret it. And as always, you guys, please get out there, get a controller in your hand, go have some fun, and I really hope to see you on the next one.